Good morning, everyone. I introduce myself. I'm IZULBARRAN Hernandez, a student of the Universidad Tecnológica de Cancún of GA44. We will talk about stress in some situations, as well as suggestions, recommendations, and tips to avoid it. Let's start with the first image. That is the first image. And stress from traveling or being on an airplane. Many people are afraid of being on an airplane, so I will give some advices to avoid stress on a plane, such as it's a good idea to learn about airplanes and how they work in general, including sounds, light, etc. It can help you calm down on the flight. They can avoid thinking over and over again about what you are afraid of. They should distract yourself. You may sleep during the trip. Okay, as we see in the second image, this is the second image. Many people are afraid to go to the dentist because they have not good experiences or something like this, causing stress. Some advices to avoid it could be: we need to choose a low stress time for a consultation where you are not pressed for time or pressures. They ought to ask for positive reference, receive positive feedback from someone you trust, perhaps share your fears. You could focus on breathe slowly and regularly. They can listen to some songs. In this other image, we can see what most of us have experienced at some time: the stress of driving or traffic. But how can we avoid the stress while driving? You must try to leave the problems of everyday life aside when driving. They have to live with enough time to get to your destination to avoid a rise in the level of cortisol in your blood, the stress hormone. Don't be drive with fatigue. They may regulate the temperature of the car, as we can see here. Represent the stress that most students are going through right now. Well, it's about the stress at school. Some recommendations could be: you should practice sport or recreation activities. You should dedicate time to hobbies and pastimes. You have to maintain stable cycles of sleep. The best advice I can give is decide between different study techniques and etc. Well, how to avoid the stress when you get sick? More now, um, more now with all these COVID situations, people tend to get even more stressed when they have a little cold. Some recommendations could be: I recommend resting for at least 3 days. Don't be exposed yourself to heavy work. If I were you, I take medication. You have to go to the doctor and stay calm. Don't be go out until you are caught. Now in this image, we see how the girl is so tired and stressed out from her life. Here are some advices to get along a little better. You can balance your obligations, like homework, with activities you enjoy. You may organize your obligations. You should plenty of sleep. You may take time to exercise every day. And this last image, we can see what today we will live a lot. It's a great stress for some people to leave home for shopping or things like that, because anywhere could be the COVID. Or what do you think? Recommendation may be: take breaks and stop watching, reading, or listening to the news. This includes social media. Consider limiting watching news just a couple of times a day and disconnecting from phone, TV, and computer screens for a while, and take care of your body. Now will we answer some questions from the audience. Do you think that life is more stressful today than it was in the past? In my opinion, yes. It's more stressful today because of everything that went along with the quarantine, COVID, online classes, economy, etc. Whose life is more stressful, an adult or a teenager, and why? The life of an adult is so stressful because you have to pay and pay expenses, house, food, raise a family, work, etc. But as a teenager, the only stressful thing is not finding your favorite t-shirt. What can people do in their everyday lives to deal with stress? We cannot live without stress, but fortunately there are ways to cope. Here are some advices that can help you. You can incorporate some relaxing practice. You should take care of your diet. You have distinguished between what you can do and what you can't do. We all have limits. You should prioritize your activities. What can people do in their everyday lives to deal with stress? We cannot live without stress, but fortunately there are ways to cope. Here are some advices that can help you. You can incorporate some relaxing practice. You should take care of your diet. You have distinguished between what you can do and what you can't do. We all have limits. You should prioritize your activities. How can exercise help people to relax? Exercise also has some direct stress fighting benefits, increase endorphins, calm the mind, helps you elevate your mood, decrease anxiety levels. It's an effective method that fights depression. So now you know, exercise, join the gym, and eliminate sedentary lifestyles. You will feel much better and you will improve your physical fitness and mental health. We have come to the end. Thank you very much for listening and have a great day.